These are the 5 key stats that will grow your business to multiple millions. Hey, it's Tim Beynon here. I'm the founder of Elite Ladies Kickboxing, Dance and Yoga. We have, at the time of recording this, approximately 2,500 members. We turned over 2.5 million US last year, and we are continually growing, pushing towards 5 million this year. And here's what I want to share with you in this training. I want to share with you the 5 key core stats that you have to understand and know on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis to get your business to multiple millions. So here's statistic number 1 that you must understand in order to build your business to multiple millions and have the dream business and the vision and the freedom and the income and the impact, everything you've always wanted from your business. Statistic number 1 is how many leads are coming into your business each month, each week, each day, and where they're coming from. So stat number 1, leads. It's critical as a business owner that you understand the inquiries, the leads, whatever you want to call them. Leads is just a good general overall term that we use in our industry. So how many people are inquiring into your classes and where are they coming from? Super important statistic for you to understand. Not understanding that kind of leaves you bouncing all over the place, a little bit wishy-washy, no real clarity, and it's hard to build and scale something if you don't know fundamentally what's actually happening at the numbers level. So you as a business owner, really important that you understand where all the leads are coming from and where could they come from. You know, you've been in this business a while, I'm sure. We can get leads from putting posters up in our local town, from flyering, from online, some social media content, driving people through the website, through the social media, or through SEO. So you can have people coming in through the website. You can have referrals from your current members. You can run events in your local school that you run, in your business, or somewhere near your business. You can invite people to come in and participate, and then they get a trial or some sort of special offer to join. You can liaise and connect with schools and bring children into your program through schoolwork. You can go and connect with businesses. You can go speak to people. You can do promotion stands, events. You can just walk up to people in your town center. I used to work for a company where we built the whole business on just walking up to people in our town center and speaking to them and striking up a conversation and getting them interested to come and do a trial class. You know this stuff. I could tell you 100 different ways to market your business. That's not what this is about, but you get the idea. But what's really important, if you want to be a professional business owner, if you want to build something that's actually going to scale, that will actually become an entity that doesn't need you and your input every single day to make sure it actually functions, then you've at a beginning got to understand how many leads we're getting each month, where they're coming from. So a really simple spreadsheet for this, however you want to do it, but you just have a column for each lead source, and you might have 5, you might have 10, but however many you've got, you have a column for each, and then you have the weeks and the months kind of designated down the side, and just get some clarity on a spreadsheet, if you're gonna do it on a spreadsheet, however you do it, of knowing where the leads are coming from and how many are coming through that source. Now you can plan. Now when you've got that, you have the capability as a business owner to sit down and you can see where your money and time and effort is going and where it's worth putting it in the future. Because understanding where your leads come from and how many will give you the foresight then to plan into the future and say, well, we've got those 3 lead sources, we're hardly getting any through there, but they're actually costing us a fair bit of time and money. Maybe we scrap those. We've got this one over here that actually for the time and money we spend on it gives us a ton of return, but we're not putting much time and money into it. Let's put more focus over there and let's maximize that channel. The second of these 5 critical statistics you need to understand in your business to be able to scale it to multiple millions is once you understand how many leads are coming in on any given day, week, month period that you're measuring, and you see where they're coming from, now you need to understand the cost per lead. What is it costing you in a monetary amount, dollars, pounds, wherever you're from, euros, wherever you're from in the world? What is it costing you per lead financially? And what is it costing you in terms of time, your team's time, your focus and energy in each endeavor? Now that's a little bit more subjective. You might not be able to get a clear measurable metric, but it's important to understand those 2 concepts behind marketing. Because you might have something over here where it's quite cheap financially to get a lead to inquire into your business, but it might be costing you a ton of time, focus, and stress and energy for your team. So we kind of got to weigh up, like, is that the best route? Because if we can find something that doesn't take much time and energy and it's cheap, that's the magic formula, right? But often, realistically in business, either you're going to spend the money to get it, like little effort, lots of money, or not much money, but lots of effort, and it's kind of like finding a balance point between those. But cost per lead becomes a critical statistic to understand, because now you can plan. If you don't understand cost per lead, you're trying to launch a new class, a new part of your business, a new location, or you just want to expand, if you don't know what it's cost your business historically to acquire a lead, and you say, I want to launch a new location, we want 100 members in it in the first month, then you have no idea what money and time needs to be allotted to build that new location to 100 members, right? But if you know your cost per lead, and then the next 3 stats I'm going to share with you in a mo, you can plan out meticulously, almost to the dollar. You can almost get it to the point where you know it's going to fall in a very tight range. And you say, right, we put that much in it, it's going to require that many hours of the team's time. Let's go, 100 students, job done. So that is your second statistic you got to understand. Number 1, how many leads are coming in and where are they coming from? Number 2, then, what is the cost per lead to your business in terms of finances and time? So the third critical statistic you need to understand to build your business to multiple millions and be able to build this dream that you're trying to build is bookings. So how many of those leads that have come in have booked? And it's critical that you understand this as a percentage. Because someone says to me, I say, how many people did you get booked? And they say 10. And I said, well, is that good or not? I said, well, I don't know. I've got 10 people and it feels great. But if you got 10 out of 1,000 booked, that's a problem. You're not doing well. Something bad is happening between them inquiring and then getting booked on. But if you got 20 inquiries and 10 booked, 50% we're pretty happy with it, right? Depending what it is we're booking them on for. So understanding how many people are booking on as a percentage of conversion of the leads. We got 100 leads, 50 booked on, pretty good. We got 100 leads, 5 booked on, we got a problem. We got 100 leads, 70 booked on, world class. Everything's great in our world, right? So as a percentage, we need to understand how many of our inquiries are booking on. And in our business, we have different bookings. We have free trials, which is pretty common in most industries or most of our type of business, whether you're running dance, yoga, Pilates, martial arts, CrossFit. Giving someone a free trial is really common. And if you're giving someone a free trial, then the booking rate should really be, if you're doing it well, you should be aiming for 50, 60, 70% should be able to get booked on if it's free. And depending on your availability, if you're only running 1 class a week, that number will drop a bit. If they've got 3 or 4 options through the week to choose, you can go up into the higher percentage numbers. If, like us, most of the trials we offer are paid, so they pay for a 1 class trial, or we sell them a 4-week course to come and train with us, obviously more expensive, then we expect the bookings to go down. The conversion percentage then might be 20% if you do an average, and it can be up to 30, possibly even 40% at a push if you're really, really, really good and it's a really good offer. You might get 40% of your leads booking on if it's a paid gig. But that's your range. So if you're going out with classic old marketing and drawing people's attention to you, if you can convert, if it's a paid gig, 20% be a baseline to get to, 30, 40% amazing. If it's a freebie, 40, 50% up to maybe 60, 70% is a kind of common range to be playing in. But again, we need to understand it. And when we know that, now we know where our leads are coming from, how many of them and where they're coming from, which different sources. We know the cost per lead, and then we know our booking rate, 20%, 30%, 40%, wherever it is. We're starting to get set now. We understand those 3 numbers. You're starting to get some real clarity on what projections and plans need to be in place to build exactly to where you want to go. If you're still watching this training, make sure you subscribe, turn on the notifications so that you get hit with all the new trainings that we're putting out. The 4th super critical statistic that you need to understand on this journey to multi-millions and building an actual business that doesn't require you day in, day out to run it is the show rate. So you might call it something different, we call it the show rate. So that is for every person that's booked onto a trial, whether it's free or paid or a course, how many of those as a percentage, I'm gonna hit this endlessly before this training's out, as a percentage is all that matters. If someone tells me we had 3 people show up, it means nothing if I don't understand it as a percentage. You with me? So we got to understand a percentage. How many people showed up? I had 10 people booked for a free trial and 2 of them showed up. Not great. We would like to get more, right? If it's a free trial and we booked 10 people. 10 people booked on for a free trial and 8 showed up. I'm quite happy with that. I got 8 people coming up. 80% is a great return, great show rate. So we must understand the show rate. How many people are showing? Why? A, so we can plan and project into the future towards our goals and what we're trying to build. B, so we can figure out quickly what's not working when things don't seem to be working. For example, at front end, you spend $1,000 on marketing, and at the back end, it gives you 20 members 1 month. Next month, you spend $1,000 and you only get 3 new members out of it. Big difference. But somewhere in this chain of statistics that I'm talking about, there'll be a glaring problem. But unless you measure the statistics, you won't know where the problem is. You'll throw another $1,000 at it and just hope it goes back up to 20 next month. But if there's a problem there, that problem might reoccur again the next month. So critical that we understand these so that we can dial in and fix the problem really quick and really simple. So how many are showing up? Again, if it's a free trial, you're gonna get less. Free trials is variable. But if you're doing the process well, we're confirming them on the phone, we've got automations, AI, whatever it is, sending them a video message, talking to them directly, using their name. There's lots you can do to make more people show up. Phone calls, old school, best way if you can. If you can jump on the phone and speak to them, wonderful. That's the holy grail. And you can build some rapport and you can talk about what they want to get from the training and why they're coming to us and what needs they might have and what their fears are and what their goals and aspirations are. Like if you can get to that level, you're going to get a higher show rate every time. If you just use some simple automations, your show rate's going to go down. Pretty standard, right? You know this, I'm sure. So our job is to measure it at the start point. Let's get clear. How many of the free trials are showing up? How many of the paid trials are showing up as a percentage? And how many of the course people, the people that buy courses, are showing up as a percentage? As you might imagine, if they're a paid trial, we get a slightly higher show rate than if they're a free trial. And if they've bought a course, we get a higher show rate again. The more money they spend, the more people show up. But generally, the more leads you need, obviously, to sell. And on to the fifth and final statistic that you gotta understand and you gotta know it in depth to make sure you can build to multiple millions of dollars in your business is the sign-up rate. We call it, you might call it something different, doesn't matter. You know what I'm talking about. So as a percentage, again, super critical as a percentage of all the people that showed up to try the class, whether it was free or paid or course, and again, you'll get different statistics for each thing generally. For all the people that showed up, what percentage of them did we convert into paying members? Super critical. Of all these statistics, that's definitely up there as one of the most important. Super critical that you understand this because often people are poor at this and they don't realize they're poor at it. People think they're doing well because they sign 10 people a month, 20 people a month, 30 people a month, 40 people a month into their business. But then actually when we go and break the stats down, it's like, well, you signed 20, but you had 60 show up to try your class. 60, and you got 20. That's a 33.3% conversion, which isn't good. Possibly that's all right if you're super premium prices. If you're charging mega bucks and it's a really pristine premier service, maybe that's okay. But in my experience, most of us running dance, gymnastics, yoga, Pilates, CrossFit, any other in-person membership business, we're not operating at wildly premium prices. We're normally somewhere in a bit of a range that's similar to everyone else. And so sign-up rate becomes critical. Why? Because why on earth do all the work? You've spent all the time and money and expertise to get the person to inquire. We've built a process and a system to get them to book. We've worked the system then to get as many as we can to show up. And then we leave it to chance or just do a shit job and don't get many of them signed up. We get 20, 30, 40% signed up. That's not good. So let me give you a bit of an insight into what is good and what's not so good. If you're signing up 20 to 30%, somewhere in that sort of range, maybe 35, you are doing nothing that well. Sorry to hand it to you so bluntly, but here's my experience. 1 in 4 people that turn up to try your class don't need convincing to join. They're done. Like they have completely and utterly decided they're in. You could do a bang average, even a poor job. They already knew before they were walking through the door. They got their debit card, credit card ready. They're ready to join. They're good to go. So if you're only signing 25, 30% up, you're only capturing the ones that were just ready to go no matter what you did. Which means the others that need a bit of convincing, you didn't convince any of them. So if you're around 25, 30%, and why it's so important to measure this, you're doing a poor job, you're not looking after them when they turn up in a way that you should be, and there's so much room for improvement, it's freaking exciting. If you're hovering around 25, 30%, like the room for growth is off the charts. If you're like 40, 50, 60%, that's reasonably common. A lot of people I speak to in this industry, when I chat to the business owners or I talk to the instructors and the teams, a lot of people hover around 50%, give or take a little bit. Dare I say this? Is it the end of the world? Well, that depends how much time and money you're putting into getting the leads, right? I think it's the end of the world in one sense is because those people are kind of ready to sign up. I sound like I'm contradicting myself, but let me explain. when someone comes to try your class, for most people, like 5 or 10% of people are quite impulsive. They see an ad, they book on, they turn up. Like, they'll just like go through a process quick, right? Maybe like 5%, maybe 10% max are like that. The other 95%, they've probably contemplated, thought about, and talked about coming to your class for a little while. They've probably seen quite a few posts, seen a few ads. They've probably talked to friends about maybe going. They might have looked online, they've checked your website, they might have checked other classes. Like, they've put a lot of thought into them or their bringing their children over to your classes, making sure it feels right for them. Then, on the day of turning up, they're close to terrified, lots of them. They're at least nervous. Some of them will be terrified about stepping in. Like, going into a martial arts or a dance or CrossFit is scary for people. Why? Because we have to move our body in ways that we're not used to. That was me dancing. We have to move our body in ways we're not used to in front of strangers. It's everyone's fucking deepest fear, right? We are terrified of these things. So the fact that they've turned up means they've overcome their fear that day as well. They've battled the talk in their head which tried convincing them to stay home and watch telly and be safe. And they've got in their car and they've driven across town. If it's a winter's evening, it's dark and it's rainy and it's shit outside, or they've had to drag their kid kicking and screaming possibly to get there. So they've gone through all this thinking, all this contemplating, all this effort to get to your class. Let me tell you something that will save you so much pain and serve you so well for the future of your business is I go into every single sign up I've ever done. When they walk through the door, I assume they want to sign. And I don't just assume it as a technique. It's like I fucking know they want to sign up because they're there. Like, they could have bailed at any point in the process. They've turned up. I know they're just telling me by being there, Tim, it looked great. I totally believe in it. I think it's for me. You've just got to show me in the next 30, 45, 60 minutes that my thinking was correct. Like, just don't fuck shit up for me. Just let it be what I think it is at that minimum, even better than I think it is, great, but just let it match my expectation of what I think I'm walking into. Treat me well, make sure I'm greeted at the front door, make sure I'm looked after, make sure I feel safe, make sure I get to meet some nice people, make sure the training's fun and I can do it. It's not too difficult or too complicated or the fitness is too hard. And if you just meet those basic expectations, I'm telling you by my presence that I'm ready to sign up to your club. So there you go, there's your 5 core stats. If you study them, understand them, and then apply tweaks and refinements in response to them, that's gonna take you to a multi-million-dollar business, no freaking question. There's lots of other things to think about, and you've got to be good on the mat and deliver great products and services and good systems and processes and great team and leadership. There's other stuff, of course, but get this first bit right as a priority, because when we get this right, we've got enough people coming in to build the business, and we can figure everything else out as we go if there are things that need fixing and changing. Have fun with it. I'll see you on another training. Make sure you subscribe, turn your notifications on for more trainings, and I'll catch you soon. Take care.